Hello everyone. This is day one of the free mini somatic training to help entrepreneur regulate the nervous system. So day one, what are we going to talk about? So why is stress regulation key for entrepreneurs? The role of speech and the body in it, and not only speech as is seen with many other people. What is somatic coaching and what is its scope of action? So we're going to dive into somatic coaching. And what is somatic coaching? It's the ability to listen to the signals of the body and pair them up with the mind, but sometimes, disregard what the mind is saying because it's not useful, so that we can have a holistic approach of how we can make decision. This is the global picture. So first things first, you're going to see how it's such a big game changer to apply this technique in the world of entrepreneurship with this mini training. But first things first, when you are entrepreneur, you have to overcome quite a lot of obstacles, and that can be quite very dysregulating for your nervous system. If I just give you a few examples, for example, bringing in cash regularly, cash flow, making your business take off. Sometimes you working, as you building it as a side hustle. Sometimes you're still a student as you're building it. So you have to make sure that you're juggling all these balls, and that can be quite dysregulating. There can be some issues with overworking, the inability to stop working, and if that happens and you're in, that can lead to burnout if that happens a lot. And there can be problems with procrastination as well, especially because you're dealing with a lot at the same time and juggling different balls or wearing different caps. So, these are opportunities for your nervous system to be quite dysregulated, even more as when you're working for somebody else, although that is possible as well, obviously, to get stressed when you're working for somebody else. Also, when you're an entrepreneur, it's important that you make a aligned decision for you and your life. And really, it depends upon the person you are. So if I take this example of this client I've been helping in France, she was an entrepreneur, but she was also a mum, so she was building her business part-time. And clearly, she found it hard to just make the kind of decisions that were right for her, for her lifestyle, but also making decision about pricing for her offers, what kind of offers she could give that would not take up too much of her time. So really, regulating your nervous system is also about making the right decision for the person that you are, and that might look very different from the entrepreneur next door, let's say. So there's lots of areas of practice for these exercises, and they have, so have my clients reported, weirdly positive, astonishing effects, because sometimes it does look like you're not doing much, or it sounds very simple, but actually it's really powerful and has strong repercussions. So we're going to spend 3 days together, and I will take you into different practices that you'll be able to implement in your life. And you see, as I've just said, some of them are very simple. Because this is a mini training and it's lasting 3 days only, we're not necessarily going to go into things that require more skills, more presence, more safety, but definitely these are good building stones for you to start with this. And don't be fooled, because although they look simple, they can have a profound effect on your nervous system and especially on your business. So before we start, we're going to bring back a little bit of presence in the body. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to invite you to close your eyes, and I'm going to invite you to put some awareness on your breathing. So close your eyes and focus on maybe taking a few deep breaths. Think about inflating, maybe pretending to inflate a balloon that's in your tummy, and deflating it as you exhale. So let's do this for about 3 to 4 breaths. So you might want to visualize that balloon inside your tummy and put your awareness on the inside of the body as you're doing this. So awareness on the inside of the body as opposed to inside the mind with your thoughts. Just breathe and bring your awareness inside the body. And just giving yourself permission to move your body, make a few adjustments. If your body needs to move, maybe your feet, might want to connect to the floor. If there's anything that needs a little bit shaking, maybe the shoulder, or maybe roll the shoulders. Just do it. Allow yourself to do it, or just see if it's just standing or sitting there that feels right for you at the moment. So it's time to leave the to-do list on the side, to let your thoughts wander, come and go. Let your system follow its own flow. Breathe. Don't go against your own way of functioning. And just breathe. And you might want to relax your jaw. I've got a yawn that's coming as I'm getting inside my body. So relax your jaw, maybe notice if it was a bit tense a few moments ago. Again, do the same with your shoulders, move them a bit. Notice if there were more tense a moment ago or not. And let your body relax. Arrive in this moment and in this body. And feel the contact of your body with the support you're sitting on or you're lying down on. And just feel how this simple contact with your body anchors you. Make you more solid and more present to the present moment. Make sure your feet touch the ground as well and make you more anchored. Take a deep breath and then contract the bottom part of the belly and hold your breath. Hold your breath. And you're going to see as if all the energy is coming up from the belly to the head, crossing all the different energy center and then being released through the mouth. So let's do this. Take a deep breath. Contract the bottom part of your belly, hold your breath, and see the energy coming up to be released. And now continue to breathe in and out without striving too much, without striving. Again, allow yourself to stretch yourself, do what your body wants to do. Yawn if you want to. And trust that your body knows what's good for her. Then I'm going to ask you to open your eyes and connect to the environment. Just look around, keeping your torso facing the front. And just ask yourself, are you in the right place to do this mini training? Are you in the right place? Would changing place be more resourceful? Do you feel at ease where you are? Do you feel safe where you are? Or do you need to make a few adjustments, maybe grabbing pillows, maybe lying down if you feel you're tired, so you get your head, your neck and your back supported. Just pause the recording if you need to. Are you okay emotionally? Are you fully present in this moment? Or is there something else in you that requires your attention? So check in with yourself a little. See if this is the right moment. Not the perfect moment, just the right one. The right place. Breathe. Now bring your attention to your solar plexus that's right under the chest, in the middle of your torso. Breathe from that space. Feel into it. Inhale deeply through your nose and exhale through your mouth. And just imagine that as you exhaling, you're releasing anything that needs to be released. Any frustration, any worries, it's going out on the exhale. And I'm going to ask you to open your eyes again if you've closed them. And I'm going to wish you a very warm welcome to the Somatic Presence mini training. Again, this time coming from the body. And see how different it feels when it's coming from the body. This is obviously a super simple practice. I'm sure some of you might be thinking, well, that was easy. However, do you actually do it? Do you do it for yourself? Do you do it with your family? You know, taking the time to ask yourself, is this the right place? Is this the right time? How is my body feeling? Do you do it with your friends? Do you do it with your clients? Do you do it every time you're about to have a potentially challenging interaction in, you know, all your life as an entrepreneur? There's always opportunities to do that, isn't there? So do you do it every time before stepping into relationship or conversation with a client? I'm pretty sure, I would say that 90% to 95% of you will say no. Why? Because we don't take the time. And also because it seems too simple. And yet, this is the first rule in somatics. Come back into the body, into presence, into the present moment, and come back fully. So somatics means body, so working with the help of the body. So listening to the body signals is the first part of somatic practice. And the second part involves the nervous system, its regulation and its reprogramming. And we'll go deeper into that on day 3. That's about expanding your comfort zone, and that has everything to do with your emotional charge, whatever emotions you're going through and how you just handling them. Obviously, it's also linked to core wounds and sometimes trauma. So we'll talk all about that in day 3, emotional release and processing stored emotion. But just for you to know, it's super important to obviously learn to regulate your nervous system, to navigate your emotion in daily life. And as I said, in the world of entrepreneur, there's so many highs and lows. I've given the example at the start that can be so dysregulating for a nervous system. And what we'll see is that emotions have got charges. So an emotion is a charge. And where is the charge being stored? If it's not expressed, it stays stored into the body. And it's going to bring contraction, it's going to bring some knots. Hence why when we're getting stressed, the first area that are probably getting stressed for most people is the shoulders and the neck, and also the hips, because this is where the vagus nerve is, and the vagus nerve is this nerve that helps to relax. So if we're overworking, then the vagus nerve sends some contraction there to let us know that it's painful and we need to change activities. So, fascinating topic. There's also a scope of action for somatic that has to do with the act of making decisions about what you're going to create, what price. So all this creative side of somatic, making decisions that feel aligned, even if they might be very different from your friend that's also an entrepreneur. So in a way, it's about channeling insights, receiving answers, creating space, changing identity sometimes, because sometimes you're changing and so your business needs to evolve, and looking after your mindset as well as taking actions and listening to your body's feedback on this. So there's a lot that can be done with somatics. This will be obviously more covered in the when we go deeper into this, so not in this free mini training, but we'll give you touches of this. And because we have lots of emotions, obviously there's going to be fear, anxiety. There'll be some work around fear, anxiety, unblocking and releasing limits. This is all part of reprogramming, isn't it? So all of this is within the scope of the somatic work, because somatic coaching considers you felt experience, so what's happening inside the body, as a source of information. And that's where it's different from what maybe a psychologist might say. They're just listening to the emotions and maybe the thoughts and all of that. But in somatic work, we take into account everything we feel inside the body as information. And we use everything, not just the mindset or the mental level, but our entire being, our whole body from head to toe. So that doesn't mean to say that this is a practice against mindset. It's one that includes the whole body as well as mindset. And in fact, the whole of our bodies because we'll work with multiple layers in the body, yeah? Because we're not disconnected beings, we're not just floating heads. We are an electric field pulsing through our body. So we're a constant flow of information, always connected to an ecosystem that's far greater than us, which is often in the environment, and that's why we live in societies. So we are part of something bigger. So somatics is about this, is about taking into account the whole body, all of its signals and sensation, and working with them, always within a coaching framework, but with therapeutic dimensions. So it doesn't mean that we're going to deal with trauma necessarily. That's not the goal. It might lead you to that. But the goal of somatic is to bring healing, especially healing of old wounds. And because let's be honest, we can't work only with our thoughts. Our thoughts are just about 20% of what happened inside us. And this is this big lie that we've heard in society a lot, that is so driven by what we're thinking, yeah? 20% of what happens inside us has to do with thought. But actually, thoughts are just like the branches of a tree. But the roots of that tree reflect the branches. We know that, don't we? So if we don't explore the trunk and the roots, we miss out about 80% of the picture. And that's where somatics came in. That's what was discovered with the polyvagal theory, is that only 20% of the information that flows through our nervous system come from the head to the body. And that's what allows us to walk, digest and breathe, or automatic involuntary functions, yeah? Like we don't need to say to ourselves, I need to breathe now, it's automatic. But 80% of the information that flows from the body, especially from the gut to the brain, but inside our body, 80% of the information flows from the body to the brain. So the reverse journey. So 20% of information goes from the brain to the lower part of the body, and 80 comes back up. And so that's what somatic work is saying. If this is how it works, let's use 100% of the information and not just only the brain, not only just mindset and our thoughts and our emotion. Thoughts, emotion, wounds, energy, tension, pain, symptoms, all of it. Let's use the whole picture because all the answers are already there. So we have access to an enormous amount of information, and yet most of the time we only use 20% of it because in the modern world we've been taught that the brain is the most important thing. Can you believe that only 20% of the information goes from the brain to the lower body? Yeah, can you believe we only use 20% of it? For example, when we feel pain, we often just take a pill to silence it instead of asking, what is the pain trying to say to me? If we're sick, we do the same. If we feel emotions, we might ignore, suppress, or minimize them. Although somatics considers they are a good source of information on what you need to do for the rest of your day. And we've done that, and we've been trained to do that for so long, it's become automatic to suppress everything that's happening below the throat. And that's why we struggle to speak up. We literally cut off around the throat, yeah? I'm sure you can think of a few situations where your mind has been thinking something, or you've had a tummy ache whilst being at work or in your studies, and you had to just silence it. So we're stuck in our heads, and we've learned to ignore the body. And sometimes we even have blinders over our eyes, and it's another type of disconnection. And it's about, I don't see it, I don't want to see it, I only look at the world through what I already know in my mind. But these disconnections actually have a purpose. They got us to where we are as a species. Obviously, it's a survival response. They keep us safe. They allow us to understand and evolve today. But we also need to reconnect to what our bodies are saying. We can't be in survival state all the time. We can't be disconnected from our bodies all the time. And that's what the field of somatics does. It's about reconnecting to the body, creating and birthing processes and activities. And it's even about building faith and confidence in yourself. And heal, make space, develop emotional intelligence and inner safety and emotional stability. So really, it's about becoming true adults. And adults have got a powerful presence, a deep emotional awareness, and the ability to observe themselves. Really, that's how we become the leaders of ourselves. Yeah? Not acting from whatever wounded past we have, if we have one, but from a grounded, safe, mature place. Not depending on external things to feel safe or to exist. That's what somatic work works on. So in this training, we just look at reconnecting you to your body, feeling the sensation in your body. In some ways, it might be a little bit of a foreign language for you. How the body is actually medicine, how we can activate your natural healing through it, or allow it to be active. So it's about coming back to the root, to the source of who you are, and creating from that place, yeah? So that's it for today. Tomorrow we'll be talking about how to get out of the hamster wheel of your head, because we've seen today that we tend to get stuck up there, don't we? And it's super important that we just get down into the body. It's a simple practice again, and yet it's rarely done. And taking that habit is life-changing, especially in a world that keeps you focused on what is going on in the head. So I'll say see you tomorrow and hope you have a good rest of the day.